We are live.
We are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Claret and Booze. We ain't done a live for well, I'm lying. I've done a live. No, I didn't do a live after the game, did I? I done the watch
No,
along.
you did do a live, didn't you? It was just like a little 20-minute thing or
No,
something.
it weren't live. It was like a pre-record, and then we was going to be going on a Saturday night, but I couldn't face talking about it again.
Yeah.
I couldn't face talking about it again. I just because you know what, I didn't want to moan. I didn't want to moan, and I would have moaned because I weren't happy with what I saw, obviously. But hello, everyone. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. How are you, Mick? Anyway,
Yeah, all right. Same as just normal, really.
same as ever.
Yeah, kind of. I didn't really I know everyone. It was sort of going back to the game and that, and the Sunday and Saturday. That everyone was there was a lot of moaning going on, as you said about you didn't want to moan.
Yeah.
There was a lot of moaning around and saying like really blowing up. But I you know. I don't know. It was too early for me to blow up. Really.
No. Well, I mean, I didn't blow up. I didn't even blow up on the watch along. I was just quite disappointed, Mick. You know, it was away because obviously you didn't watch it live, did you? So
No.
it was a way set. It was a way set us up. Really, that's what done me. But then you have got to look at it. We had no real outlet, no options up front. I mean, having said that, do you know what? He could have actually started with the same team that he did against Fulham and played that same way, but he chose not to for whatever reason. He chose not to.
Well,
He took Soler out, put Cresswell in, went to a back 8, and left Paqueta and Kudus up front. It was odd. It was strange.
the only thing I would say with that, and I was thinking it myself, had that have been a lineup that Loppy started with, we would have been fuming.
That is what I said. So on the live, and this is what I did say in the post match as well. I said I'm not going to be fucking two-faced here, right? I do back Potter 100%. I said exactly that. I said if Moyes or fucking Lopetegui started a game like that, I would have ripped him to shreds.
Like
I would have.
I get the fact that he needs to see the players, and even in everyone. Sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, even in everyone.
I'm redundant at the moment on the comments.
You're not. The comments are there. They're in with us. We're
No,
all
but
in
I mean,
together.
me when I used to click up on it, I can't do that.
You like a little clicky tricky, didn't you?
Yeah, I feel like I've lost a job to AI. I wanted them AI things. No, so what was I saying? I can't fucking remember now.
You were saying. I said if it was Lopetegui or Moyes, I would have criticised them. So really,
no, sorry, that was it. Yeah, I get when I was saying the same thing to try and stick up for him, saying that he needs to know about his best 11 and he right players.
Yeah.
But for me, I still can't understand how you might say because he was more of a centre back than anything else. But why wouldn't he play Scholes? Like he's deserving. It's not the fact he's showed more fight than anyone at the moment. The games he's been in, and he's been brilliant. He didn't even talk about that.
No. It's just Steve Bell's making a complaint about me watch along. Didn't no biscuit talk or crisps or anything. Sorry,
well, mate, don't need to put a complaint in. Nick's done excellent on that watch along.
But yeah, it was very deflating because obviously we was all on cloud 9 after obviously Potter being announced, listening to him talk, and this is the other thing. I made a point. I made a rare good point, I think, in the post match, and I did say, look, Potter's spoken very, very well, but you can also make a rod for your own back if you don't back it up, and he has come out and said that he's got to play a brand of football that the fans can identify with. He's got to entertain us, basically.
Yeah.
So if you come out and say that, you do have to deliver it, and I know, and I'll stick to what I'm saying. What options did he have? He didn't have many options, but he didn't have to. Because Soler, people are saying, "Oh, Soler had a tweak." Well, he didn't. He soon brought him on, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He soon brought him on at half time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
like, I'm not saying how long do you give him because he's there now. I don't say about giving him that side, but he's not even been 2 weeks or just 2 weeks, but there was such a lack of movement from any player
static
in that game. Like it was really, really bad. But I don't even still put that down to the Potter. And then we say like new manager bounce. I just think that's how they've been told to play under Loppy. I believe that. Like we see that so often. So it's a big job that he's got to do. bigger than probably than what we all thought, to be honest with you. And my take on it, look, listen, is Graham Potter the manager I wanted? No, but unfortunately, we found ourselves in a position again to him being the manager that is actually needed for now.
Yeah.
And I believe that. But I also now I genuinely believe that he could actually turn out to be a very good manager for West Ham.
I think by hook or by crook, I think we've got the right man in charge. I wasn't in favour of Potter.
No.
I weren't, for whatever reason. I completely dismissed him. And I've almost fallen in love with him, even with that game the other day. Since he's come in, he's not. I had him down as a boring bloke. He's not. He's not. He's just quietly spoken. He's quite interesting, really. When he talks, he actually answers a fucking question. When somebody asks him something, he answers a question properly.
But do you know what though, Nick? It's not hard to say fall in love with him, because when you've had all them years of Moyes, yes, he won us a cup, fair play, but he wasn't great to big up the fans and the football club. He wasn't on that. Loppy was so boring and couldn't understand him. So for years, we've been craving someone just to give a little bit of love to West Ham and make us feel like real part. The minute he comes out in it, we are like, oh, fucking yes, great. We've got this manager now who's with the fans. I think we craved it. We craved it. So now he's there. I think that he's took a lot of West Ham fans have taken to him very quick than what we usually would have. And I think that that's only going to benefit the club and the fan base as a whole. But just got to be.
But the only thing is
with
that
blow ups like that though. When we don't play well, we can't have blow ups like that yet.
You can, because the thing is, we haven't got anything to play for this season. We're out the cups. I think we'll all accept now we're not playing for European football. We're just playing for nothing else. It's all very well saying that this is a pre-season. He's got a pre-season. But if you've got paying fans going over to that fucking stadium, the very least that you can do is try and entertain fans. So if we're playing for nothing, go out there and play some football, is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to see roadblocks if we're, because all he's got to do is get. I think I watched Gio's show earlier on. He's worked out we've got to get 10 points from 16 games. That's it for safety. 10 points from 16 games. We don't need to block our way to the finish line. We don't need to do that. You've almost got a situation there, if you're Potter, where if that is what you're looking at, there is no European football. It's very unlikely, incredibly unlikely, you're going to get relegated. He doesn't have to do that. What he did against Palace, you can almost get the team to have some fun, because otherwise, what else is there? Because also, if there's a big rebuild coming, it's all very well saying it's a big pre-season. Well, we're saying we need a new fucking team, so a pre-season through, because we want new players coming in. A lot of these players, I can only imagine he's not happy with. So I do hope that we don't see more of that. And I don't think that we will, but I hope that we don't, because the fan base won't tolerate it for long, mate. They really won't. I think 10 games of that, Potter will be not.
Oh, no, it can't be that. It can't be that, because that was...
it really wouldn't be. And the next 5 games are extremely losable as well.
Like
that's what you got to look at.
Everyone say that about the Fulham game, and I didn't even do a review on that Fulham game.
Yeah,
and everyone was saying about but we was gifted 2 goals. Hold on a minute, hold on now, because we wasn't gifted 2 goals. They would still had to be taken, but we literally gave them their 2 goals. Like we give them, like Fabianski was like, go on in the goal. So. But we see fight and we see hunger and desire and everything in that game. It was entertaining. Like, it was a really good game to watch for the first time for a long time, being a West Ham fan. Yeah. So to go from that to the Palace game, where we didn't look like there was an answer fighting us, like we didn't.
It was a different tactic. So when we played against Fulham, we pressed. So this is going back to what you were saying earlier on.
That's why you saying about when you saying about fans.
Yeah, but that's
they would accept the Fulham press, but they won't accept the static
doing nothing. So going back to Monomake's firm leader here, it's an 8-month pre-season. It's only an 8-month pre-season if we get the players in now. Otherwise, when we do the rebuild in the summer, it's a different team. So this it's not an 8-month pre-season, really. I know, fair enough. He can get to grips, but you got to look at. I reckon, in an ideal world, next season, you're going to be looking at half of that team's going to be different. At least half of that team. So this is not an 8-month pre-season if he doesn't get his players in now. It's going to start again in the summer. So if that's what we're looking at here, then I don't know. He's got to find some way with that group of players. Fuck knows how, because it's the worst defence ever.
Oh, that defence is.
It's the worst defence ever, mate. What did you think of Kilman's defending with
No,
Mateta?
I don't rate him. I really want to rate him. The reason why I really want to rate him because he's such a big transfer fee of 40 million, and I really want to rate him, but I can't. Like, there's nothing. Even like you said about because he's tall, he's quite dominant in the air. But even most of his headers that he gets at, they're not. I don't know. I've got no faith in him. You got Mavropanos, who's. And like he had more than one mistake in that game.
He's crackers. Mavropanos is fucking crackers. He is.
Yeah, but he had more than one mistake in that. Who is it? I can't think of the player's name. He had him on toast all fucking game.
Well, Mateta done him a few times. Yeah,
twice. Yeah, and he got 2 yellow cards from Mateta.
Yeah.
And he done him, but Mavropanos. No, I can't have him. But the problem is. The common person out of all of this is Kilman. He's not been dropped for a game. So
it is Kilman, but we've got Tadebo's now gone for 5 weeks. He's back in France.
Yeah, well, he went back in France about 2 weeks ago, didn't he, or a week ago?
Yeah, but he's gone for 5 weeks minimum. So God knows what he's done. So he's gone now. So we have got Casey. But look, as I said, they got offered a defender the other day, a real good defender, and they turned it down flat. So from what I was told, and this is a really good player, one of the best defenders in La Liga, for a really reasonable fee. Like I said, it weren't a 40 million Tadebo, it was like a 12 million Milinkovic. It was a really good, sensible signing, but they just turned it down flat. They weren't keen. So I don't know whether because of the comments from Sullivan that he's leaked through the usual channels that the Tadebo deals hurt us, whether he's thinking we can't spend no more money on defenders. I don't know. I don't know, because the defense, mate. In my opinion, the spine of that team's got to go. If you look at, we're yet to see if Areola can regain his form because he's not been great this season. But let's just ignore that and say Potter will get the best out of Areola. So we've got Areola. I think you need 2 more centre backs.
Absolutely.
We do anyway, because we haven't got enough fucking centre backs. We've only got 3 senior players as it is. So we need 2 centre backs. Personally, I'd like to. Welcome, Mr. James Stephen Anderson.
Oh, James.
Hello, James. I think so we need 2 centre backs minimum, preferably starting. We need, obviously, Alvarez. We saw what he can do against Fulham in a good functional team when they're pressing and stuff like that. That's when he comes to life. He's fine. We need 2 new central midfielders in front of him. So, and we need a forward. Almost the entire spine of that team needs replacing. All of it. The whole lot. And you can't go out and just get bodies in. I've seen people linking us to. I've not even reported half of these. People have been talking. Is it Andre Silva? The fucking, getting him in on loan. 29-year-old injury-prone player who's scored 1 goal in about the last 18 months. Fucking why? Why get players like that? Why get Awaniyi? There's no point just going out and getting bodies. We've got bodies. What's his name? Danny Dyer. I can't, mate. I'm so tired. Danny Ings is a body. We've got bodies.
Yeah.
You need to bring someone in that's gonna make a difference. Well, because the players that we've got are not terrible. They're not as bad as they've been looking. But Jesus Christ, Guido's got to go. I don't know how they're going to get rid of him because he's shit.
I've got a feeling that there's also a little bit of stubbornness from Sullivan getting another defender because he just spent 80 million on 2 centre backs, right? And look, I think that there's a player in there in Tadebo. There's got to be, but he's not at the moment. So that 80 million looks fucking shocking spent as it is at the moment. Like it just. I
saw a rumor the other day. I haven't checked this, but I saw a rumor the other day to say that this injury that Tadebo's got, he's had this since, he's been carrying an injury since childhood.
What?
Apparently he's got something wrong with him. He's got like a bit of an ailment. I don't know whether it's similar to what Ivan Toney's got. So Ivan Toney he's lived with an injury as well. So I don't know. When it comes to due diligence, I've got no clue. I've got no faith.
Mate, can't we get a swap deal for Kilman and Zuma? I'd rather get Zuma back.
I'd rather have Zuma, but I've got no faith at all in the recruitment team at West Ham now. I haven't, Tim Stein and all the others, and I know
Yeah.
I've backed him to the hilt. I have, he was a saviour. I was so sick of what we're seeing now. Now you can see Sullivan's back in fucking control now, can't you?
Yeah, but
You
let's
can
let's be
you can
honest
see
though.
he's
But
back in
if
control.
everyone's honest with themselves, yeah, everyone loved at the time. Everyone loved seeing people like Tadibo and the other people on the plane with Tim. We all loved it. We all got a buzz out of it.
But now we can see it for what it is. It's
But
bollocks.
now, we can see what it is, and we're getting to know the real sort of.
Yeah, and the business has not been great. It really hasn't been great. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, he was painted as a director of football of Leverkusen that helped build or that built this team that took Europe by. He fucking weren't. He was one of a team of about 4, and he was underneath. Like he didn't even have the top job. And the reason that he left was because the top job became available, and he didn't get it, so he left in a huff. So he weren't even a decision maker there. So this is literally his first director of football role, which is mad. But when you look at him, you look at all of the analysts that we've got in there, and like I say, I don't think they're doing fuck all. What are they doing?
What's this new geezer?
What are they actually doing?
Brought in? Who's this new
Oh
geezer?
yeah, from Chelsea. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's basically Tim finished, isn't it? So
I don't know his role. I don't know this geezer's role.
he's going to be Potter's right hand man. He's going to be head scout and sort of head of recruitment. So, well, not head of recruitment. Head of recruitment is now Sullivan, but he is basically going to be doing whatever Tim Snyder was supposed to be doing before. That's the long and short of it.
Okay.
So Tim ain't going to be here long. He's been strategically pushed out of his position. Good. I'm literally pissed off with him now. When you consider I was flying the flag for him,
Yeah.
not now at all. No, I've heard too much. I've heard too much about him. It ain't good. I think he's a fucking troublemaker. And do you know what? He's just as corrupt as everything that we hate about the other lot. He's just one of them and all. That fucking Fulkrug deal. The Fulkrug deal. 27 million for him. Seriously?
Yeah, it's mental.
That's the most fucked up deal I've ever seen. Now, if he's a director of football that knows anything about football, that is a bad move. When you consider we haven't got a bottomless pot of money, so no, I'll be honest with you, I'm glad. Ultrasound. I'm getting sick of people blaming Tim. I'm not blaming Tim. The whole thing is Sullivan's fault, 100%. It all comes down to Sullivan. But mate, Tim, what has he? Be honest. What has Tim actually proved for us to place this much faith in him so far? What has he done for us to place this much faith in him? There's not really a body of work there because the body of work that we credit him for wasn't his work at Leverkusen. He was just part of a team.
No, and you know what? Yeah, like I said, we.
So it's almost baseless. We're doing this, on a wing and a prayer because he was like the saviour. Scarfy, the saviour, came in.
Love or hate Lopetegui. We all know where we stand, sort of thing on that. But you said about him being a troublemaker, Tim. There's 2 managers now.
Yeah.
That have asked him to not be at the training ground. So it becomes a disruptive influence, regardless of however you like the managers or not. That's not good. You can't have people like having that role being a disruptive influence on any player. So I don't agree with that. So then, even for that reason alone, he shouldn't be here. He should just get on with his own job, concentrate on that, and be behind closed doors, not getting involved in talking to other players and
you know
what I mean, like getting, trying to split the changing room up and everything. Like I said, love or hate a manager. No one needs that as a downside from any. That's not the word I want to use, but I can't think of the word. My mind's fried at the moment. Sorry, people.
Yeah, no, mate, I'm tired as well. But no, Garino sort of says there he'd rather have Tim than Salthouse. Of course, look, this is why we fell in love with Tim. This is why we grabbed hold of him because of how bad it is. And you know what? It's gone back to being that bad. But Tim is now involved in that.
I was going to say,
I do know for a fact that the Duran deal that just broke down, Sullivan mobilised Tim to go behind that. Tim is now the Barry Silkman. So Tim has fucked that Duran deal. Well, he hasn't. Sullivan has, but because it was under instruction, the offer came from the club, which would have been cleared by the board and signed off. But Yeah, there's fucking
I
Mark.
want to.
We
I
have
want to address that. Yeah,
Mark. We have not got 57 million pounds to
I want
spend,
to. I
mate.
want to address that bit. You said that about Tim. You rather Tim than Salthouse. Now, the problem is, it's both. They're both there now, so it's not one or the other. It's both. Another one that Garino said, Tim brought over Kudus and Alvarez. Don't be so sure on that.
No,
Garino.
no. Well. Look. Tim sealed the deal, so those players were not identical. I know this for a fact now. He did not talent ID Alvarez and Kudus. That was done not even internally at West Ham. That was done by someone else outside of West Ham who brought those players to West Ham. That is what happened. You got to sign these players, and we did with those deals what we just tried to do with Duran. Sent our man out there. And then Tim flew over in his jet, sold them a dream, pulled them back. They was not identified by Tim. We fucked someone over, I think, in that process, which is standard in football. That's standard in football. It is what happens. But that's what happened. That's what happened. I know you was being ironic, mate. I know. But I'm seeing people say that now. We've got 57 million. We haven't got 57 million. You know. Well, we
No,
have.
it makes sense. Like if Villa have said we're not going to accept any less than 60 million, not a penny less, we go in with 57, mate. That's literally piss take.
But then you go to David Ornstein and tell him you've put a 57 million bid in when it ain't even 57. It weren't even anywhere near it. It weren't.
No.
Like I said on the show earlier on, apparently the options were literally laughable. Winning the Premier League was one of the clauses.
That's what I mean. It's like me saying to you, I'll buy your car. How much you selling it for? I'm selling it for 20 grand. All right, what I'll do, I'll give you 10 grand. But if I win Formula One in it, I'll give you another 10 grand on top of that. Never going to happen, obviously.
Yeah.
So this ridiculous fucking, stupid add-ons to be on that. Who's a 5.7 million loan fee, Mark?
I don't know. But John says, hello, mate. He says, if we've bid 57 million, why not bid 57 million for someone we can get? Because then he'd have to spend 57 million, John.
That's exactly it.
That's the thing. He'd have been crestfallen. If they'd have accepted that offer, he'd have gone, oh, fuck.
Shit, what's going on here?
What's got that weren't supposed to happen?
But
they wouldn't accept any less than 60.
I think it was Gio that said earlier on, actually, they said about the 57 million. They said that they would spend that. This is what they said. They would spend it because that's going to be the striker for next year. Now, I can understand that theory, but we know that that's not the actual truth behind Sullivan and this phantom 57 million bid, which it ain't phantom, it happened, but it was only a bid that was always going to be turned down. It was expected to be turned down. So,
I know.
We might as well go in for Mbappe. I can't even say his name, but him anyway.
Yeah, I know. We've got as much chance now of signing him as we have a Duran. That deal is dead. I don't even want to talk about him no more. But with the reason we're linked with so many players, like half of them we've already spoken about in previous shows. You remember that Emega geezer? I couldn't even say his name properly.
Oh, you're talking about one person who can't say anyone's fucking name.
No, yeah, but there's a list of about 15. There's a list of about, I don't know, again, of about 15 to 20 players that we've been linked with all window. And the reason for that is because David Sullivan, he's got Barry Silkman, he's got Will Salthouse, he's got Mendes, he's got Tony Henry, he's got all of these different people. Kia Jorbuchen, who they fucking still talk to as well. All of these different people are bringing players to West Ham. And this is how it gets. This is how we end up with a massive fucking list. I don't know who's being looked at. I haven't got a clue. He did Duran yesterday. He said that we made a bid for him. Now today it's Omega. Tomorrow it's going to be fucking someone else. I haven't got a clue what's going on. I really haven't got a clue what's going on with those strikers. I haven't. What I do know is what I spoke about earlier on with the two players that I have spoken about. Those deals are virtually done. They can't fuck these up. It's almost at a stage now where they can't fuck these up. It's all been done. So the one with Andre Gomes, who I don't even think played tonight against Liverpool. You think how pissed off Lille would be losing Andre Gomes and David at the end of the season for a French team? That's like £80 million of players.
That's mental.
Yeah. So I think that's why he's not been. Well, that is why he's not been playing so much this year, Gomes, because they're pissed off with him. They can't not play David because he scores all their goals. But they are a little bit miffed because they're going to be hemorrhaging a lot of money. But yeah, so those deals, and they're going to be great deals. Don't get me wrong, fantastic. Really, really pleased about it. But fucking hell, some of the players that we turned down, some of the players that we turned down is ridiculous, and because we could have 4 or 5 players now. We could have 4 or 5 players now, but they fuck around because it's all got to be done, in their mind, the right way, via the right people.
It doesn't really worry me at the moment about we haven't signed anyone yet, because as we know, if you remember back all the time, like lately, the last few windows, we've been fretting, we ain't signed anyone. Then all of a sudden, we'll sign 2, 3 players all on the bands.
Yeah.
So, but have I got that feeling that we're going to do that this window? I'm not too sure. We need to. We really do need. Potter needs it desperately, because I know you say we've got nothing to play for, but our next run of fixtures, we could easily be in a relegation battle. I know you said we won't get relegated, but we could be uncomfortable. It's not going to be comfortable.
Look. Well, when you look at it like that, 10 points in 16 games, that's all we need really to be safe,
Yeah.
So, but the next 5 games are really losable. And then all of a sudden it's 10 points in 11 games.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Then you start to get a little bit worried. Then you start to get a little bit worried. So we do have to. Yeah, mate, Stefan. I am smoking. So I did try to give up for 3 days. I'm giving this up next month. I'll try again next month.
We had a stressful couple of weeks with West
Ham broke me, and I'm fucking knackered. I am. But yeah, we just wanted to jump on and do a live, have a chat with you all. But no, it is frustrating when you see what's going on, because some of the players that are being offered internally, and I know one of them, and I know there's some people that actually like this guy, and it really fucking bothers me. And I don't know his full name. I'll tell you who it is. But for instance, the player that I was talking about, not the big mystery player, I've been talking about it for 2 days, but after Duran failed, there's another striker, Mick. I spoke to you about him earlier on. Yeah. So this player's fucking mustard. Really, really mustard, right? Gone to West Ham with this player. He is being looked at, by the way. They haven't dismissed him. They're looking at all striking options. But apparently, a player that Tim is recommending. Have you heard of this fucking Towu bloke from Ghent? He's about 7 foot tall. I know there's some people that will go, oh, you should see him. This is Paul Onuachu. Have you seen him for fucking Southampton?
Yeah.
This bloke was brought in to replace Paul Onuachu. Paul Onuachu was better out there. This geezer's fucking massive. He's a big cart horse.
Paul Onuachu was smashing it back then, like for the old club.
Yeah, he was in the Belgian league. Yeah. In the Belgian league.
I know, that's what I mean, but he ain't as good as Paul Onuachu. I can't say his name, but he ain't as good as him.
But he's fucking massive. He's huge, this geezer. Massive. And it's just a bit, that's it. Tolu, I won't try and say his surname. But that's the level of play. That's a fucking championship player. I'm sorry. If you just go and watch him, even if you watch his highlight reels. I mean, normally anyone can look good on highlight reels. This bloke is all fucking headers. I'm no surprise. So no, I'm not keen on that. And that's the type of player that's being pushed internally. Who the fuck wants him? I don't want him.
No, I don't want him. But then again, is it going to be one of them things that, like we're linked with so many shit players that when we get one that's not as bad as the rest, it's like the best of the bad bunch, that we're all going to be happy that we got someone. For the argument's sake, that is it Andre Silva? No one really wants him, but
no. But that's the thing. I haven't even bothered talking about that because
no. But what I'm saying is that's what my point is. That
I've got to believe that's bollocks because that's a stupid deal.
But again, that's what I'm saying to you. But if we're looking at my argument is someone like him who no one really wants. But then if you're getting linked with shittier players, all of a sudden Andre Silva looks not a bad option if they're looking at them. Do you get what I mean? It's the same with the
yeah.
So I don't know what game they play at West Ham. I really don't. I just
Trudge thinks Tolu looks good because you just love big, tall players like you love Suchek in midfield.
Yeah,
honestly, mate. Honestly, no. If you're talking about playing a high energy game in the Premier League at a Premier League pace, trying to break from the halfway line, imagine him trying to keep up with fucking Kudus.
Imagine that, mate.
It's not going to happen. No, I honestly, maybe an option from the bench if you need it. A box crasher for when Suchek goes to Everton. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But no, how you can go from Duran to that, I've got no fucking clue. I mean, what's in their heads? How can they even be on the same list, Mick? If you're looking for a striker and Duran's on that list, which, they obviously never thought he was good, but a player of that level, and there's obviously Jonathan David they've been looking at as well. How do you go from that to Andre Silva and Tolu? How do you go? They're not even the same thing. There are a couple out there like Guessand, who's a decent looking player. And the other one, look, I don't know too much about Omega. I don't know too much about him. He does look decent. He looks decent. He does. But I don't know who's pushing that deal. I haven't got a clue.
What annoys me is that Sullivan obviously talks a lot of shit, and he's come out and said, right, we want to get like a world-class striker. That's what he keeps saying. We want to get a world-class striker. But then you're getting linked with people like Silva and Tolu or whatever his fucking name is. And
you might
like,
just buy Paul Onuachu from fucking Southampton.
That geezer from Nottingham Forest, who I actually like. I think he's a good striker, but he's so injury prone. That's not a striker that we need or want at West Ham. Fuck me, we're so. Look at
but this is a question. This is the thing here, Trod, right? Because we can sign Tolu, a centre back, and a central midfielder for £57 million. I said this the other day. If I've got £60 million, I'm going out and buying one world class player. I am, because rather than buying 3 average players that are just going to dilute the quality of this squad and just buying numbers, we don't need numbers. We don't.
Yeah, let me refer you back to Bilic, Trod.
We don't need numbers. I would rather just buy one fucking player. Or maximum 2, if that's what your limit is. Top class players that are going to come in, make a massive impact. Otherwise, what's the point in signing players that aren't going to do that? We don't just need squad fillers that are probably going to be on higher wages that we're going to try and turf out in a year or two, and we can't fucking get rid of them because they're shit. You know, like we've got now. We people are saying we've got to get rid of our dead wood. We can't, because the wood is so dead, no one else wants it. That's the trouble.
Mo, you say about why don't we bid for Liam Delap? We could, but
I don't think they'd sell him. I don't think they'd sell him this season.
They've got one hope of staying up, and that's Delap. So there's no chance them doing that. It won't be worth their.
I would love Delap, but that is. I'll be honest with you. I mean, look, I don't know what other people are bringing to Sullivan. So it could be someone that's being offered elsewhere. He's certainly, from what I've been told, Delap is not going to happen. Certainly in this window, because I've asked, because I like him.
Yeah.
So I've been said no. I've been told no.
What use is a striker? They score your goals, Trojan. I think that if you looked at the games that we do need, I can understand what you're saying, right? In that, because we're not creating enough. I get that, but we haven't got a vocal point to look for to create enough for as well at the same time. I do need a vocal.
I get what he's saying. What he's saying is we need more than a striker.
No, of course we do.
I get that.
But in reality, Nick, we're not going to go out and buy 4 or 5 players in this window. So it has to come down to what is needed the most. Now, there's an argument to be said that it could be a goalkeeper, defender, midfield, striker, whatever. But we definitely do need a striker. That much is so clear. I mean, look at even Falkirk, before he got injured, he wasn't great, but he scored a couple of goals.
Yeah, no, I know.
Do you know what I mean? It's just a shame he didn't get that run. I'm not saying he would have done brilliant, but it would have been good to see. But we definitely do need a vocal point because no one else is doing it up there. Even Bowen, great footballer, great finisher, not really a great striker.
No.
And then, we see Kudos and Paqueta kind of having a go at it. Not greatly, but kind of having a go. No, we definitely need an out-and-out striker. Definitely.
I just think. I mean, look, it's an interesting one because Troj has got a point. So, say for instance, myself now, if I could go, what would make us better as a team? Somebody. So, say for instance, you had 50. Let's piss around with 50 million, and you can only buy one player. All you can do is add one player to this team. What position would make our team better? Going out and getting just piss balls, say John Duran. Put John Duran in this team that we've got now.
Yeah.
Or go out and get a 50 million box-to-box midfielder that is going to completely transform our midfield. What would be better? What would make our team better?
Personally?
Yeah.
I think a striker. I genuinely do.
What, and you stick with Souček, Guido.
But the reason why, because
Alvarez.
I think we need that. But I do think we need that striker. I know our midfield's terrible, our defence is terrible. I'd love a new centre back. I'd love that, but we just haven't got that vocal point. I think if we had a decent, really good striker, we've got the players in Kudus, in Bowen, in Paqueta to find that space. If the player is moving and that, we've got the players that can find him. I genuinely believe that. We did see that for a little bit under. We see that a little bit under Moyes, a little bit. Like it or not,
I think this point from Garino, it doesn't matter if you spend 60 million on one player or three if you get your scouting spot on. Look, I get that, and that's true, right? And it is true. But looking at, you might not be referencing the Brighton model where they go out and they kind of, they identify the Casiedos and the Matomas and players like that. But they've already got a solid first team when they're going out there looking for pearls. That's why probably when you look at it in retrospect, the first signing that Steiner made was going out there trying to do a fucking dig for a. We didn't need that. We needed a first team. We've got to have a good solid team that can compete in the Premier League. And then from that point, now we've got a manager who will look to our academy and develop our youth players. That's brilliant because, why scout other players when you've got players in your academy that you can make use of? There's really mixed messaging over Potts at the moment. There's a lot of people that were saying 15th was a cut-off, and I'm getting messages elsewhere saying there's something else in Potts' contract where we could recall him. And he is under consideration, active consideration to be recalled as well. I would only be in favour of that if he was going into that first team. You only recall Potts if you're going to put him in that fucking first team. You don't recall him where he's playing every single week and stick him on our bench. That's bullshit. You don't do that. But I would be up for it because I think he improves what we've got at the moment.
Right,
That's the worst. It's the worst midfield I've ever fucking seen.
But someone did leave a comment in here earlier on, Nick, saying the deadline was the 15th.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing other people arguing with people that are saying that. So I don't know. Yeah, no, not in this chat, elsewhere. And somebody else has said that there's something written into Potts' contract that says that we can recall him. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, some people are saying there was a window. There's a short window when at the start of January where you can recall your players. But I don't know.
I think if he is called back, I think he does start in our team. Not that he needs to. I think he does. I think that we're crying out for a midfielder like that, as you say. We are. But there was I couldn't. When I shouted out quickly, someone made a point, which kind of what I was saying. When you got Bowen, Kudos, Paqueta, our midfield's got potential, but we've got no one there that they can feed.
With you on that, Trudge.
So there. Yeah, well, fuck him. Yeah, I don't know what. That must have been a joke. Surely that was
half of our links ain't even. I will say this: half of our links ain't even from West Ham. They're from because we're fair game and we're a fucking circus anyway. I think agents do target us. So if they've got a client, a player that needs a move, they'll just use West Ham because it's believable to say that we're linked and we're in with this player because we're linked with every other fucker. So what that does is that gets their client in the newspapers to say that he's available. That's all it is. Half of it ain't even. Do you know what I mean? Gomez, here we go. Gomez, here we go. Confirmed. Well, I hope so.
I hope so. Oh, mate.
I hope so.
Oh, I fucking hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
What player that is?
I haven't got Twitter. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. I'm going to take your word. I'm going to take your word for it. But I'm confident with that one anyway, mate. I said that earlier on. So. Yeah, but the next one.
When is he coming in? That Macaulay.
Well, they've just settled these.
Is he coming in straight away, or is it like?
Yeah.
At the end of season thing.
Yeah. What's that, Micky? Are you gutted? We can't say suck that prick anymore. Suck the prick
anymore. It was a thing. The geezer meant to say. I can't remember. It might be Doghouse. I don't know. It was meant to say sack the prick, but he ended up putting suck the prick, which was brilliant on the watch along. Yeah. Listen, I need to get on the comments. I got itchy fingers. I don't know where to go with, so I need to start clicking. So
I just feel like with us, if I look at our team, this is kind of going back to Trodger's got me thinking, to be quite honest, because when all of our players are fit, when we've got Somerville, when we've got these players to choose from, when we've got Somerville, bearing in mind, I think that Potter's favoured way of playing is going to be a wing-back system. So it's typically going to be with a forward and 2 10s and 2 wing-backs. So we've got players that are very flexible. So players like Somerville, we've already seen use at right wing-back. Players like Somerville, players like Bowen, players like Paqueta, but I'm saying players like Kudus, and we've got Guilherme. I do feel like we've got some. I feel like our final third. I know we're missing that focal point.
Yeah.
But I would like to see how we play. Bear in mind, Man City won the fucking league without a striker, without a target man. They got worse when Haaland come in. But what they had was an abundance of flair players that attacked en masse. We haven't got that yet. All we had was Kudus as an outlet and putting teams double up on him. But when you got Kudus and you got Bowen and you got Somerville on the pitch, that's a bit different. You can't double up on all of them. And you can attack en masse with Paqueta as well. So there's 4 players there. So if you're looking at, say, Paqueta in the 10, Bowen as maybe a false 9 or Kudus, and you got Kudus and Somerville, then you're looking at something completely fucking different, because we're not playing hoofball with Potter. That's not what happens. You're playing through the lines. You're doing build-up play and fast counter-attacks as well at times. It kind of mixes and matches. And also, you've got your wing-backs, You've got Wan-Bissaka can sort out our defensive problems, because I think he's actually our best fucking defender. Wan-Bissaka is our best defender. I'd have him. I'd play a back 3 and stick him in that back line at right centre-back, because I tell you what, him up against Mateta ain't getting that shot away.
No, that was fucking shocking as well. That was shocking.
Yeah, Mateta ain't getting that fucking shot away. I would stick him in that back 3 because I do think he is literally our best defensive defender. Get another or put Casey in there, and then you've got Kilman. That's fine. Kilman is a left centre back, which is where he's always played best, in the back 3. So that could sort us out. So then you've got Wan-Bissaka, you've got Casey, you've got Kilman as a back 3. You've got Areola to come in. You've got Alvarez as a CDM. You've got Somerville as a right wing back. You've got Young Skulls as a left wing back. And yes, I would play him in front of Emerson at the moment. And then you've got a bit of a conundrum in those 2 midfield areas. So for me, if we can sort that out, Soler can occupy one of them. So Soler can go in one spot. That's one spot gone. And then you've got either Souček or Guido that can fill the other ones at the moment. That isn't good enough, because we need more mobility, more strength, more pace, more tenacity in midfield. You look at any other functional Premier League midfielder, there's fucking bite in there. We've already got one relatively slow player that I think should be a mainstay, and that's Alvarez. And he will be functional if he's got legs around him, more than functional. So that other berth, Soler, and replacing the Souček Guido berth with a fucking explosive midfielder, transforms this team in this window. And that obviously will be Gomes. I know he's not the big powerhouse, but like I said, when you look at Potter teams of the past, Caicedo, McAllister, they're little players. He plays different football. It's little and nippy. That's what he looks at, moving the ball quick and stuff like that.
It's the little ones that make it.
It's the little ones that make it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what, though? To be fair to you,
Thank you very much, mate. American Hammer X.
Thanks, American Hammer. Do you know what, though? You saying about that steal in midfield. Do you know who did have it? Paqueta had it, and I think Soler's got it, but they don't never use it in that way. I think they're tough little bastards as well. We see it in his first stint at West Ham, Paqueta. We always used to say how good he was at tracking back and being a bit of a defensive, because he had it. But now,
do you know the way Paqueta played against
falling on the floor?
Do you know the way Paqueta played against? Oh fuck! I don't give a shit about that.
No,
I'll be honest with you.
I know you don't.
I don't. No, because when you're under the cosh, it's gamesmanship. Every other team does it. I wouldn't want to see my whole team doing it, but I will make do with Paqueta buying us time, buying a foul, buying a free kick. Everyone else does it. I don't care, right? So that's part of his game. We've bought a dirty Brazilian. So
I would accept it like I used to accept it when he was on his game, but he's not been.
No, but no one has. But what I'm saying is, that midfielder that you're talking about in Paqueta, if he was to play with the same intensity and same effort and same desire that he played up front against Fulham, stick that Paqueta in midfield.
Yes.
Stick that Paqueta in midfield, he dominates it. He dominates the midfield. So you have him and you have Soler. Because if you remember, so we could do that. You're right. You could go Alvarez, Soler, Paqueta, because if you remember the Newcastle game where Soler and Paqueta were fucking mustard.
Yes. And that's how it should have been. And everyone, we thought that's what was going to be the new lineup from Loppe. Fucking hell, that would never happen. It's like he found something, he stumbled across something, he went, oh no, that's a bit too good. I've got to change it back. Loppe, mate. Loppe, son. Soppy Loppe.
Yeah. So look, this is what I mean. There are options, but we haven't got a deep squad. So I do think he needs the players back. I would bring Potts back in. I would definitely bring Potts back in if we can activate it. If we can't, we can't. But I'm seeing from other people. I'm seeing from other people that we can. So I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I haven't got a clue.
Mike's Travels give us an update. Nothing on X by Romano and Gomes in the last 3 hours.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening now. I mean, he's just finished at fucking Anfield. So I don't think there's going to be any news at this second, put it that way. But the super chat where he says, from American Hammer, he says, what do you think of Guilherme going to Saudi? Look, I never reported that because I didn't believe it. So obviously I saw the story, but I didn't believe it. You've got a new man that's come in Potter who prides himself on developing players, you know, and he'll see Guilherme as a challenge. He'll want to see that's an option for because if the club are looking at Guilherme like he's a failure, I don't know this by the way, but this is from what you're reading. This is only what I can see. Even though I don't see how they can make a judgment, he ain't had enough minutes.
No.
So if this is what the club are feeling, Potter will look at that and go, no, I can turn him into a player. You know, he'll want to keep him because that is his profile of player. I haven't seen his pace yet. This is the one thing that concerns me with Guilherme because he is officially our fastest player. Apparently, when he gets going, he's fucking rapid. So maybe he is a player that just needs he needs a bit of confidence. Don't forget, he came here under a kid in a new country, comes and he's presented to a manager that clearly doesn't fucking want him because, you know, he don't want him. So that's not going to do him any favors, is it? You know, mentally.
No,
Settle
but then
into a new.
also you can't judge someone on someone who's just had a couple of minutes. But saying that, the every now and then when he's come on, he's looked like he's done all right. Like it looks like he's deserving, especially when we're down to the bare bones. We kind of had this discussion a little bit today, Nick, didn't we? Like,
Yeah.
And I was saying that the only reason why I could see us getting rid of him is because if we are trying to raise funds and we need funds for new signings, that's the only reason why. Because I can't see why you would get a player that was earmarked for the future, then get in a manager who does like working with youth in Potter, and then getting rid of one of the best youth players we've got.
It would be a typical Sullivan thing to do, is what I would say.
Yeah.
To get a player in for 25 million, say he's shit, let's sell him. We won't get anywhere near 25 million for him in his current state because he hasn't been a success. He hasn't really shown anything. You'd be looking at 10 million. Sell him for 10 million, so it's an instant 15 million pound loss. He goes elsewhere. What does he do, Mick? Probably sets the world alight. I said he goes. So a typical Sullivan thing for him to do would be to take a 25 million pound player, sell him now for 10 million. We get a 15 million pound loss.
And he becomes a superstar.
And then Guilherme becomes a superstar.
Yeah, he becomes a superstar. He'd be like that. Yeah. We was happy to get a player like him, so young, on the prospect, because we never managed to get that in like buy players like that. They always come from our academy, which is great. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but we never managed to get the next possible best thing. But we've seemed to have done that. Hopefully, no one knows yet. But I mean, I think.
But the thing is, that's too much expectation on his shoulders because he weren't even featuring regularly for Palmeiras. He weren't even a first team player. So for us to expect a player that weren't featuring regularly, we've identified him. You would hope based on what his potential is. We haven't gone out and bought a finished article. We've gone out and bought a potential superstar, a rough diamond that needs time, that needs development to turn him into what he could eventually be.
And I agree with you.
It's like we're judging him, saying, "Oh, he ain't even the first." You didn't buy a fucking first team player. No, that's not what he was.
First team player. But what again? This is a discussion that me and you had, and I said the thing that worries me is that we were so down to the bare bones, and we saw that in Palace, and yet we didn't bring him on till like 8 minutes to go or something like that. When really, I thought with the options that we had, we should have been bringing him on a lot sooner.
Yeah.
To try and because he ain't doing that, that's when I did start thinking, well, maybe they are looking at shifting Guilherme on. If he's not willing to play him, that was before we brought him on. So then I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to go either way with that one because that could.
No, and look, what Andy Smith and Trodger's saying is true. You know, it wasn't 25 million. You know, we all know that. You know, it's a bit like the 57 million deal, and also the 50 million pound we paid for Paqueta. That was mostly add-ons as well. That was about 35 and 15 in add-ons. It weren't a 50 million pound deal. But
Chrissy James, sorry, just read that out. No way, Chrissy James, mate.
What's that?
Gomes is just a passer, 4 goals in 2 games, and he isn't a tackler. You sure he ain't a tackler, Chrissy?
Yeah, I don't think so, mate.
Box-to-box
You wait till Potter gets his hands on him, mate. Wait till he gets his hands on him. It's going to be fantastic.
Honestly, he's a fucking little. He's a little tough nut, mate.
He's a brilliant player.
He is. Mark
but the situation, like I said earlier on, that Lille have got now. See, a lot of people are going to be looking at Gomes now and saying, "Oh, he's not playing for Lille." Of course he ain't. They've got the arsehole with him. They have to play David because he scores all their goals for them.
Yeah, without David, they ain't winning anything.
But Gomes, they've got the right arsehole. They're losing, I reckon, £80 million worth of players for free at the end of the season. The 2 players that refuse to sign deals for them.
All day long.
Yeah. So, it's going to be interesting. But I'll tell you what, though, Chrissy, I'd rather have Dave Gomes in midfield than fucking Guido. I really would. We need something different. We need balance. We need as many players that will offer something different to our team as possible. And
that's Gomes, Gomes is the legs West Ham are missing.
Absolutely.
That's it, mate. That is it. Sorry to interrupt you there, Nick. I just wanted to read that out quickly.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll tell you what he is, Chrissy. He's a box-to-box player. He's a box-to-box player, and he's a deep-lying playmaker as well. He can see 2 passes ahead. I mean, I don't know whether you've watched him play. I've watched him a few times now. He's a fucking good player. He can do the lot. He's a complete midfielder. He can attack. He can hold. He can snap into a tackle. He's fast. He can carry the ball. There is nothing not to like about this player. When you look at what we've got in our midfield currently, there is not. So I just think we need mobility. We do need mobility.
Yeah, he's the legs. That's right. That thing, he's the legs that West Ham are missing. He definitely is that.
Well, currently it's just for the summer, Garino. So it's a pre-contract. But there would be nothing. See, what they've got to do is get that deal done first. If at that point, this I don't know will happen. This is just me guessing. So say we got the pre-contract signed with Gomes. I'm assuming at that point what they can do is go to Lille and say, look, what's it going to cost you to release him now? So I suppose they could do that, and throw him 5 million. If they're not using him, throw him 5 million, 10 million so that we can take him for the next 6 months. I'm assuming they could do that. I've not been told that will happen, by the way. I've been told that it will be for the summer. So I'd like to, obviously we need him now.
Sorry, mate. I don't know. Look, listen, I've always stuck up for Chrissy James, right? Sorry, we get that, but I've always stuck up for. But Chrissy James, you can't say, right, Frank Lampard was a box-to-box. Gerrard was a box-to-box. You're talking about once in a fucking... Well, they were both in the same generation, but these are world-class players. We ain't going to get world-class players like... I mean, we had Lampard, but not them. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
He's ignoring what we've got in the fucking team at the moment as well.
Mate, he's just... Look, he's definitely the legs West Ham need. Is he going to score 20 goals a season? No, he ain't going to fucking score 20 goals a season. He's more likely to save us 20 goals from being that defensive kind of stopper for us.
We're going to go from Souček, who is a box or box, nothing in between, to a box. We'll actually have something in between.
It's just mad. Like, Chrissy, you got to do your own work before you say about that, mate. You really have. You can't say that.
So
Upton Spark.
Thank you very much, mate. Thanks very much for that. So he says, got to keep these young players and nurture them into the first team. Absolutely, and that is what. And I think it's important we do that with Guilherme, mate. It's far too early for us to make any fucking.
There's a player there. There's a player there, Nick.
Yeah, but it's too early for us to make any decisions on him yet. We bought a player with potential. The only way you would get rid of someone at this stage is if you brought him in and he's got a terrible attitude or something. We've had no reports on that. So I think he's shown a great attitude because he's had no fucking minutes. As somebody else said in the chat earlier on, the way we've treated him is actually disgusting because he's had no under 21 minutes, hardly any.
No.
He ain't played much football since he's been here in terms of, match play. So that is really bad, in terms of us developing players. But that was because of the previous regime. We know that will not happen under Potter. I think every single youth player now will have a pathway. They'll have a plan that will be structured for them. They'll all know what's going on. And I think that's important for the fucking youth academy. It really is. All the while integrating players like Casey, like Scholes, who will keep those boys motivated because they'll look at them boys sort of in the first team setup now and go, fucking hell, we can make it. Whereas under Moyes and Loppe, half of them players must have been looking at that going, fucking, what's the point? What is the point?
Like we ain't going to get... About that time when... we had literally no centre backs. And
Elise, wasn't it?
Elise, and then he didn't even play Elise. He preferred to play
Cresswell and Soufal at centre back.
Soufal. Like, what a fucking liberty
I
that
know.
is to like someone like that. It's just right. Listen, people. You know what? I was gonna if we sign Gomes, let him do the talking. 5'5". Yeah, in stature, he reminds me. In stature, reminds me of a Nigel Rio-Coker in stature, but he's a lot faster than Rio-Coker. He's stronger than him.
I'll tell you what. Land of the Giants is what we are at the minute. Sorry, mate. I want to go from Land of the Giants to Land of the fucking footballers. I'm fed up of just having a team full. We're not a basketball fucking team. We're a football team.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want that. Trudge did say that, but Trudge did say he was a joke. Well, we never know with these people, especially you, Trudge.
Trudge loves a big man.
When he did say that, he said he wanted like, but we've got a big fucking slough in the centre midfield in Souček. Do you know what I mean? So,
listen. I wouldn't mind having a big lump in the middle,
like for fun.
What's that?
Offside and curse. Go and fuck yourself.
What's he said? At least it'd be super.
People taller than Micky. I've actually been taller than that, so fuck me. That's what I want him, so I can call him little.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be better. So I was saying there, I would take. I haven't got anything against tall players, but they've got to have ability and they've got to be mobile. That's why when people start talking about fucking 6'6", 6'7" Tolu, whatever his name is, fucking drop me out. Honestly. You might as well stick Andy Carroll up front. We're going to be hoofing the ball to him because that's the only way it's going to be useful.
We need pace up front so badly, like a striker with pace who can just get in over behind the players and fucking go for it. And I tell you, would bring pace, Gomes.
He would, mate.
He would frighten other players.
Yeah, here we go. Ken Hammers knows what he's talking about. So sod you, Chrissy. Gomes has got a lot. He can pass, tackle, link play between the thirds and tick the ball over. He's got more clubs in his game than Tiger Woods. Yes, Ken. He knows. And
I know for a fact a lot of people listen to Ken Hammers because he's clued up, and that was a quote to show you how fucking clued up he is. Well done, Ken Hammers.
Yeah, shut up, Chrissy. You don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up, mate.
But yeah, no. Look, listen. I'm very excited for players of that ilk that are coming in. I'm just pleased that there's. I mean, look. I think there's always been good. This is a worry. I don't think that this is potentially new what's happening in this window. I think we've always had a situation where great players have been offered to West Ham, but sometimes it isn't the best fit for West Ham that comes in. It's not. It isn't necessarily the best player that we will sign. It's they sign them for other fucking reasons, and we know why. So you just got to hope that internal politics and everything else goes away now. They've got to back Potter. They've got to back him. If they don't, it would be maddening. Could you imagine? We've had Moyes and Loppy that they've spunked 650 million of our fucking money on, club money. That ain't Sullivan's money. That's our fucking money that they've spunked 650 million on. And then they've got this geezer and they're fucking around.
And just 40 million of that was on Kilman, you fuck.
Oh, no, I know. And fucking sick note to Debo, who's going to play about 3 games a year by the look of it.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, I mean, if you remember when Tadebo came in Loppy's defence, he looked unfit as fuck. When he first started, Tadebo,
yeah, he did. He really did.
He looked unfit as fuck. It took about a month for him to look like he was, not half asleep.
Yeah, but you know what? Then he's obviously looked at the fucking tactics Loppy was playing. He goes, oh, you know what? I'm just going to pretend I'm still not fit. I don't want to be fucking bad at this shit.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, look, moving forwards, right? So if we've got Somerville back for Aston Villa, we'll close it down now, Mick, and we'll because we'll keep it to an hour tonight.
Yeah.
But sort of moving forwards to hello, Stevie Bill. To when are we playing? Saturday? Is it or Sunday? Isn't it? Sunday game, isn't it? Sunday game.
All right, we've got a quiz on Saturday for all the members out there.
Yeah. So Sunday night. We play Villa. We're away. We're playing them again. How do you expect us to tackle that game?
Do you know what? In all honesty, I don't know yet because I was sort of expecting the Palace lineup to be pretty much like the Fulham lineup, like you said,
Yeah.
but that's changed. So I don't know if he's playing. Let's see what works and what don't. I don't know if he's doing that.
I'm not buying this shit. So I'm just going to say this now,
Go
right?
on.
So a lot of people have been saying this is Graham Potter. He's played in the Premier League for a long, managing the Premier League for a long fucking time, right? He's got analysts that work with him. He's probably got profiles on all of our fucking players. He knows what they're all about. He's been out of work. He will have been watching the Premier League. He knows about the players that we've got, and he knows what they're capable of. He's been working with them as well. I know it's only a week, but I'm sorry, all of this, he's got to get used to his squad and see what they can do. No. You've already seen what a lot of these players can do. There's a lot of players there.
No, sorry, Nick. No, you're sorry. Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, you miss it's not what I meant. No, I didn't mean player wise. I meant about formation wise, because would a player be better suited to play in this position? I don't know. I was just trying to really think of, like I said, it was quite a shock lineup for me against Palace. It really was. So I wouldn't want to, me personally, I can't call it either way. And I really don't know. Have you got your idea of what he's going to start with and that on Sunday?
I'd like to see the three at the back with Somerville coming in at right wing back again. I'd like to see us trying that again with I want to see Paqueta back up front. I want to see Paqueta leading the line again like he did against Fulham, because his hold up play is brilliant. Yeah. He's the biggest of the lot. He'll drive defenders mad. He's not quite the Antonio powerhouse, but he's I think the best option that we've got up front, playing the way that we play. Solaire's got to be in there, sort of playing what the Paqueta role was against Palace, and Kudus is basically got to be a bit of a free man wreaking havoc. But I would like to see Scholes come in on the left hand side. I want to see Wan-Bissaka playing at that right centre back. I want to see Casey in there. I want to see Kilman in there. That has got to be the back three, in my opinion.
Is Somerville back? Is Somerville back for this?
No, but apparently, it's been reported that he's back for the weekend. So,
right. So if he wasn't, then who are you playing on that left? Because I think that he subbed Emerson. I think that's why he played Emerson now, to be that sort of.
I'd play Scholes on the right wing back.
Would you? Yeah. Would you play him as right wing back? Left wing back.
No. I'll play Emerson on the left in that case, and I'd play, because I want Wan-Bissaka as a right centre back. We need someone who can fucking defend. Put our best defender in defence, for fuck's sake. He needs to be there. He's got pace. He's brilliant at one-on-one tackling. I'm still haunted by what Kilman did with that Mateta goal. I couldn't believe it. It was terrible. Was he ever going to stop running back?
It's just I can't figure that one out, because that's just like, listen, I want a defender. Obviously, I'm 5'0", but that is just, everyone knows what you got to do there. You do not just go back. It's it was just stupid for me. I
could understand it if you're coming up against fucking Ronaldo or prime Messi, who they want you to jump into him because they've got the ability to mug you off and skip round you. Mateta ain't that fucking player. He's a good player in form, but he's just a lump. Do you know what I mean? There ain't no fucking skill there.
Yeah, but if you don't get it, it was outside the box when he done it. So if you don't get it, you're going to give away a free kick, maybe get a red card if he's.
He even got his angles all wrong, because where he was standing, he weren't even blocking the goal.
No, mate, it was shit.
He was in no man's land. So I'm really annoyed with that. So for me, I would stick with Kilman. So that is how I would set up. I want to see Areola come in. No offense, Fabs, but not in a Potter system. So with a back three.
Where is he? Where is he at the moment?
No, he was on the bench, so he must be getting fit again.
Oh, was he on the bench? I did not see that. Oh, he needs to.
So Areola at the back. I want to see Kilman left centre back. I want to see Casey and Casey in the fucking middle. Stick Casey in the middle. Put Wan-Bissaka right wing back. Somerville, right centre back. Somerville right wing back. Then go Alvarez, Soler. We ain't really got no other choice. Souček. And then go. Was that too many midfielders with that formation? I don't know. But I want to see Paqueta up front. I want Kudus in there. And I just think that gives us a bit more. I think having Kudus and Somerville on that right-hand side, that would mitigate the opposition from being able to mitigate our threat of Kudus, because we can double up. Somerville will get up and he'll support Kudus, and we can provide overload. So it'll be much more difficult having Somerville in that team on that right-hand side and having Scholes bombing down that left wing. That kid's got energy. and he's
How mad is it
attacking.
though?
He's attacking.
I agree with Kent when he said to have a chance of beating Villa, we need Somerville fit. How mad is it now that I actually agree with that we do need a fit Somerville? It wasn't that one, it was another one. But we do need Somerville because of the pace that he possesses. Yeah, and it's just mad how now we're relying again on one player. But I am interested to see how it plays out Sunday. To see if there's an uplift again in the style of play. We can't play like that against like we did Palace, static, absolutely no movement, shocking, all round. That can't be the way to go. Can't be.
I thought it was very telling because a lot of people criticised Potter for what he did with Guilherme when he brought him on. I was quite encouraged. When I look back at it in retrospect, I was quite encouraged because he brought Alford and Guilherme on and he put Guilherme in central midfield. Now, if you listen to the apparent South American football expert, Tim Vickery, when we signed Guilherme, he said he's got central midfielder written all over him. He said that is what he will be. He said because he operates great in tight spaces. He's got a good burst of pace. He can carry the ball. He's an intelligent player. So maybe Potter did identify that as slow as fuck. So maybe he's saying if you put Alford in there, sort of turning the ball over, which is what he was doing, he would have been sent on there to do that because you need people ticking the ball over. And do you know something? I'm sure Alford didn't make a loose pass.
He looked a lot better than a lot of the midfield in that game when he come on. Like he again, as you said, he was turning and he was sort of making things. I don't know, getting a little bit of hardly much of it.
There's a lot more to his game, but he was doing a job there. So he was just turning that ball over, ticking the ball over. Also, Gonzo made a good point on his post-match show because I noticed this as well, and that was Mavropanos and Kilman, who were both shit in that game, had opportunities to give the ball to Alford on more than one occasion, and they sort of looked at him and they went in a different direction and gave him elsewhere as if to say they didn't trust him. And you're like, are you fucking too serious? You two have been dog in this game. Give that boy the ball. Give him the fucking ball. And they weren't passing the ball to him. So obviously there was some link up between Alford and Scholes. So you probably have got a bit of a hierarchy and a bit of arrogance in there as well. I personally loved. Do you know what helped? This is how important Paqueta is. I love him as everything about him. When Scholes came in and he made his debut, Paqueta was holding his hand at that left back position. He was there protecting him. He was all over him.
Yeah.
He was there. He was kind of. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. And you know what? He got a kick out of it. Paqueta got a kick out of it to be in the sort of protector of the young Scholes. He loved it, and it was it was really good to see. I loved it. I did absolutely love that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think he's got a lot more in his squad. See, the issue that you've got, I understand why he played a block when he selected those players in midfield because you can't press with Alvarez, Souček and Guido.
No.
You physically can't press. They're too slow. You know, they get dragged all over the fucking place because if you press, you've got to move. So if you don't press, you just stand in kind of a block. They can do that. But you can't press with those players in the middle. That was a key thing. That is why we blocked.
That was so disheartening to see them three.
I know. So hopefully we don't ever see that again. There is no reason to ever see it again. He's given Alford minutes now. Do you know what? Alford should start if our only options are Alvarez, Souček and Guido. Guido gets dropped because Souček does other stuff. Drop fucking Guido and put Alford in there if that's all your options, if that's all you've got.
But I do hope, Nick, that, you know, it's not just giving them minutes. So like Alford, right? So as you said, I'd rather see him play than I'd rather see Guido being dropped and Alford play. But the only thing that sort of worries me is that in his first game, he started Scholes, who had a great game, but then he went and dropped in the next game. So I would like to see them have a run if they deserve it. Don't get me wrong; it's not just because
Scholes is having a run. He's featured in every game so far.
Yes, but what I'm saying is he deserved to start the next game after the performance that he had on his not his debut, but for them. So Alford, when he come on, he was a better player than someone like Guido say. So he deserves to be starting.
And also, Mick, what we're forgetting as well is because Scholes was always a really small player. He was very slight. He's packed out sort of physically. He's a bit of a big lad now. He's 6 foot plus. Now, for the last year, he went from basically a left back, left wing back. They've been playing him in central midfield in the under-21s. He's been playing in central midfield. So he can play in central midfield as well. And you can see that with that boy because I'll tell you what, he's very intelligent. He's very confident. He's technically fucking brilliant. I'd stick him in the middle. He's tenacious, loves a tackle, doesn't he? He loves a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's not a bad thing to have that in your locker. Like, also to
It's a
be
flexible player. Flexible player. Yeah.
It's great to have. But do you remember we've done this with Ben Johnson, and everyone was saying about he should have been stuck in just one position to get the best out of him that way. So I don't really want to see us mucking about with that sort of player again.
No offense to Ben Johnson. I think Scholes is a different beast.
So do I. But what I'm saying is that my point is being that he could be a great left winger, wing back, if you like. But I want to muck him about, especially being this young, by moving him here, there, and everywhere, like we did to Ben Johnson.
Yeah, you could have a good point. It's just that I think there's some. I think what Scholes is an out and out footballer. I think you can see it. And plus, it's not an unfamiliar position. He's played. I think playing in either central midfield or left wing back or left back, whatever else. I think that's fine. And there's positions that he's played for the last 2 years anyway. And my God, we fucking need something in the middle. We need some pace. Good night, BCH. But anyway, I'm going to be a realist against Villa. We're going to get thumped. I think we are. I think we're going to get beat, personally.
How much? Why?
Not by many, because obviously Villa have played tonight, so they've not had much.
Tonight.
Yeah, they've not had much rest. I think they'll beat us probably I think they'll probably beat us 2-0. 2-0, but I don't think we'll do much. I think it'll be a bit of a cagey game again. I hope it's not. This is what I mean. If we're playing for fuck all this season, why be cagey? Just have just have a go. Have a go. You know, surely he's not going to be judged on, unless he's got something written into his contracts where he's got to get a certain position in the table. I don't know.
I was very optimistic regarding the Palace game, and that was just that was so disheartening. But do you know what? I never do it, but I want to back us 2-1 win.
Yeah,
go on. I just think I've got a feeling 2-1 win.
I predicted a 4-0 home win against Palace, so I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go Villa are going to beat us 2-0 and hope that its reverse psychology works.
Well, hopefully, yeah. But I don't know. I'm going to go with 2-1 win.
Yeah,
in fact, I'm going to put 2-1 win. I'm not going to tell you who I think is going to score first, because I'm going to do the little competition that Nick does on the terraces, and I'm going to win myself something, and I will take it. Don't think I won't, just because I'm a moderator.
All right, then we'll leave it there, mate, because it's getting late. And
yeah.
All right, and cheers for joining us, everyone. Anyway, I know it was a bit of an ad hoc show, and sorry I've got verbal dyslexia tonight. I'm really tired. I feel a bit under the weather.
I can't even get my words out tonight.
I can hear myself talking and going, "What did you just fucking say?" Saying words back to front.
I'm talking, all of a sudden, my words just going out my head. I'm going,
mate, I couldn't think who Danny Ings was earlier on. I was like, that player, was it Danny Ings? Danny Ings, yeah. Danny Ings, yeah. Annie Dings.
I thought you were talking about Bowen from it.
No, I completely. Danny Ings, he just fuck his name. Danny just completely went out of my head. Anyway, gonna let you all go. Have a lovely rest of the week, because I don't think we're going to be doing any more lives until the weekend. There will be some more rambles. Oh yeah, there is a watch along as well. No, yeah, we've got that. We'll be back on the weekend, but I don't think there'll be any more lives this week.
Sorry, yeah.
But what there will be this week, hopefully, because it's my birthday on January the 23rd. Just so you all know. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the day when I can do the. I'll tell you what, that day, Mick, I might grab you. We might have to do a live one for that.
All day, yeah, mate.
All right. So I might have to do a live one for that if we get the news that I'm hoping that we get. You can never say that it's absolutely going to happen with that little fucking dickhead in charge, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully. Surely even he can't fuck this up.